After years of a stable marriage, I discovered my wife was hiding an emotional affair with a man from her gym. When their relationship crashed and burned, she was left devastated. But I realized the real betrayal ran deeper than I ever imagined. I confronted the man who helped destroy my marriage, only to see just how small and pathetic he really was. In the end, I walked away stronger and free. But some scars never fully heal. I guess part of me always knew something wasn't right with Emma. We met 2 years ago at a friend's party. She was funny, confident, beautiful. She had this way of making you feel like the most important person in the room. For a while, it was perfect. Weekend getaways, late night talks, making plans for the future. But then, little things started happening. She would disappear for whole weekends, claiming she was visiting her sister, yet she never posted anything about it. No photos, no texts, complete radio silence. She hated when I touched her phone. Even if it was just to hand it to her, she'd grab it like it was nuclear codes. Whenever I asked if everything was okay, she'd laugh it off, kiss me, and say, "You're just being paranoid, babe." I wanted to believe her. God, I needed to believe her. I was already ring shopping. Then about 6 weeks ago, I was out with my buddy Liam. We were grabbing beers, just venting about life, and somehow Emma came up. Liam's face changed instantly. "Dude," I didn't want to say anything, but isn't she the girl who's always at Jason's parties? Jason was this local rich guy who threw huge house parties. I had no idea Emma even knew him. Curious, and maybe desperate, I asked Liam to take me to the next one. What I found still makes my stomach twist. Emma was there, in Jason's arms, laughing like she didn't have a care in the world, wearing the necklace I gave her on our anniversary. I didn't confront her. Not there. I stood in the shadows and watched as she kissed him, whispered something in his ear, clung to him like I'd never even existed. It felt like my brain had short-circuited, like I had died and was watching it happen to someone else. The next morning, I didn't say anything. I just started digging. Turns out Emma wasn't just dating Jason and me. She had a third guy too. Some poor dude named Kyle who thought he was going to propose to her next month. She had 3 completely separate lives. 3 men, 3 different lies. I gathered screenshots, photos, everything. I waited until a Saturday, a day I knew she was supposed to visit her sister. Instead, I texted Jason and Kyle, sending them everything with a simple message. You deserve to know who you're dealing with. The fallout was nuclear. Jason kicked her out immediately. Kyle canceled his lease with her and posted a brutal message online. Emma tried calling me, 27 missed calls. I blocked her. Last I heard, she was couch surfing, trying to figure out where it all went wrong. As for me, I'm not going to pretend it doesn't hurt. It does. But there's a strange comfort in finally knowing the truth. No more second guessing. No more wondering if I'm crazy. Emma showed me exactly who she was. And this time, I actually believed her. For a while after everything blew up, I tried to move on. But the thing about betrayal is, it doesn't just vanish. It clings to you like smoke, getting into every part of your life. I found myself questioning everyone, friends, family, even strangers. If Emma, someone I loved and trusted, could fool me so completely, who else was lying? I deleted all our old photos, boxed up the gifts she'd given me and shoved them into the back of my closet. But memories aren't so easy to pack away. Late at night, I'd lie awake, replaying moments in my head. The times she said, "I love you," with that perfect little smile. The times she cried in my arms after a bad day. Probably because one of her lies was catching up to her. And the worst part? I missed her. I hated myself for it. But I did, missing the version of her that never existed. One night, about a month after the breakup, I got a DM on Instagram from a random burner account. It was a photo of Emma sitting at some bar, looking miserable, and the caption just said, "Hope it was worth it." I had no idea who sent it. Maybe Jason, maybe Kyle, maybe even Emma herself, fishing for sympathy. I stared at that photo for a long time, long enough to realize something important. I didn't feel anything anymore. No sadness, no anger, just emptiness. And honestly, that was progress. A few weeks later, I ran into Liam again. We grabbed beers, caught up, laughed about dumb stuff. At one point, he asked, "You heard from her?" I shook my head. "Number. And I'm good with that." He raised an eyebrow. "Good. 'Cause, rumor is she's back living with her mom. Burned all her bridges here. Apparently, after everything came out, Emma tried to spin it like she was the victim, that all three of us had misunderstood her. Nobody bought it. She lost her apartment. Most of her friends ghosted her. Even her job got awkward. Jason was connected with her boss somehow. It wasn't satisfying exactly. Watching someone crash and burn never really feels as good as you think it will. But it was closure. A few days later, I took the box of her stuff out of the closet, drove to the dump, and threw it all away. Felt like cutting an anchor off my own chest. No more Emma, no more lies, no more backup plans. For the first time in a long time, I felt light again, free, and maybe a little bit hopeful. Just when I thought the chapter was closed, Emma found a way to crawl back into my life. It started with a message from an unknown number. "Hey, I know I'm probably the last person you want to hear from, but I miss you. Can we talk?" I stared at the text, feeling a weird mix of anger and pity. No name, no apology. Just that. I didn't answer. Blocked the number. Then it got weirder. A few days later, a mutual friend, someone I barely spoke to anymore, hit me up. "Hey, Emma's been asking about you. She says she's changed. She's not doing well." I kept it short. Not my problem anymore. And it wasn't. Emma made her bed. She chose to lie in it. Still, some part of me felt the pull. That old reflex to fix things, to be the good guy. But I wasn't that idiot anymore. I'd learned, the hard way. Later that week, I got a letter. Yes, an actual handwritten letter. It was in a shaky script I didn't recognize at first, but the moment I opened it, I knew. It was Emma, pouring her heart out, telling me how sorry she was, how she wasn't herself back then, how she still loved me. And then the kicker: "I'm pregnant. I don't know if it's yours or Jason's, but I needed you to know." My heart stopped. For a second, I couldn't breathe. Pregnant? After everything? Now she wanted me back in the mess she created? I sat there staring at the letter for what felt like an hour. Pregnant? Maybe mine. Maybe Jason's. Every instinct in me screamed, "Run." But another part, the part that still remembered the girl I first fell for, hesitated. What if it was mine? What if there was an innocent child who had nothing to do with the mess Emma and Jason made? I didn't sleep that night. I just lay there, staring at the ceiling, listening to the silence of my apartment, so different from the life I had imagined when Emma and I first moved in together. By morning, I had made a decision. I texted Emma from a burner number. "We'll do a DNA test after the baby is born. Nothing more. No talking. No getting back together. If it's mine, we'll figure something out. If not, this is goodbye." She answered almost immediately. "Thank you. I swear I'll do better this time." I didn't reply. I wasn't doing this for her. Weeks passed. Every now and then I'd get updates through mutual friends, even though I never asked. Emma was struggling. Jason had vanished the moment she told him about the pregnancy. She was living with her parents again, working a miserable retail job, barely scraping by. There was a time I would have felt sorry for her. Now, all I felt was detached. I had changed. I wasn't the man she could manipulate anymore. One night, I got a call from her number, but it wasn't her voice on the line. It was her father, an older, broken-sounding man. "She's in the hospital," he said. "Complications. She's asking for you." And suddenly, I was back in that crossroads again. Did I go? Did I owe her even that? Or was walking away the only way to finally free myself? I don't know why, but my body moved before my mind did. One minute I was sitting there staring blankly at my phone. The next, I was grabbing my jacket, my keys, heading out the door. The hospital was only 15 minutes away, but the drive felt endless. Every red light, every slow car in front of me felt like the universe testing me. Are you sure? After everything? When I finally walked through those sterile halls, I felt sick, not with worry, with anger. At her, at myself. Emma was lying there in a small room, pale, hooked up to monitors. Her eyes lit up the second she saw me. "You're here," she whispered. I stood stiffly by the door. I didn't move closer. I didn't smile. "Your dad called," I said simply. She swallowed hard, tears already forming. I didn't know who else to ask. I'm scared. There was a long, painful silence. Finally, I asked, "Is the baby okay?" She nodded, tears slipping down her cheeks. "They think so. I fainted. They said it was stress." I almost laughed. Stress. As if she hadn't caused most of it herself. Emma reached out a trembling hand. "Please, I just need someone. I don't have anyone anymore." I stared at her hand. I thought about every lie, every betrayal, the secret lunches with Jason, the laughter I wasn't part of, the future they tried to steal. And for the first time I realized I didn't owe her a damn thing anymore. I shook my head slowly. "You made your choice, Emma, and I made mine." Her face crumpled. She tried to sit up, but the monitor beeped frantically, and a nurse rushed in. I turned and walked away. I didn't look back. Not once. It's been 6 months. I moved out of that apartment the same week Emma was hospitalized. Got a place on the other side of the city. Small, but mine. Quiet. Clean. I filed for divorce the moment the papers hit my mailbox. No long battles. No dramatic court scenes. Emma didn't contest it. She didn't even show up. The last I heard, she moved back in with her parents. Had the baby a few weeks ago. A boy. I didn't go to the hospital, didn't send flowers, didn't even text. Because deep down, I knew the truth. And today, I got the proof in my hands. The DNA test. I hadn't even planned to get one. But Jason's wife, turns out he was married too, sent me a message after everything exploded. Told me about their long affair. Told me things I didn't want to believe, but couldn't ignore anymore. She helped arrange the test. Said I deserved to know. Now I'm staring at the results, sitting at my new kitchen table. Probability of paternity, 0.00%. 0. Nothing, not mine. I let the papers fall from my hands and close my eyes, and for the first time in what feels like forever, I breathe, really breathe, a deep, clean, free breath. I don't know what's next. I don't know where I'm headed. But one thing I do know, it won't involve her. Not ever again. A few months later, I thought I was finally moving on. Got a better job. Started seeing someone new. Nothing serious. Just casual coffee dates and walks at the park. Life was quieter, manageable, until last weekend. I was standing in line at the grocery store, zoning out, when I heard a familiar voice behind me. Software nervous, saying my name. "David?" I turned around slowly, already knowing who it was. It was her, Jason's ex-wife, Sarah. She looked different now, thinner, a little tired, but still carrying herself with that quiet dignity I remembered from her messages. We stood there for a second, like statues. Two people who shouldn't know each other, but did. Two people forever tied together by betrayal. Finally, she spoke. I didn't know if I should say anything. "I'm glad you're okay," she said, wringing her hands nervously. I nodded, still a little stunned. We ended up grabbing a coffee right across the street. Awkward at first, fumbling with small talk. But pretty soon, it got real. Turns out her divorce from Jason was brutal. He fought her every step of the way. Tried to paint her as unstable to win custody of their daughter. Spoiler, it didn't work. She's got full custody now. She admitted she still sometimes wakes up in cold sweats, thinking about everything he did behind her back, how deep the lies went, how she never saw it coming. He wasn't just cheating, she said, looking at me with tears brimming in her eyes. He was sick, controlling, dangerous. And I think Emma, your ex, she wasn't just a fling for him. That made my stomach tighten. What do you mean? I asked, leaning in. She hesitated, then pulled out her phone, scrolled through her photos, stopped at a screenshot of an email dated months ago, with the subject line, "Baby plans," sent from Jason's account, addressed to Emma. In it, they talked about running away together, starting over, raising their child without anyone interfering, like some sick fairy tale built on broken families. Sarah sighed heavily. I think they planned it, David. I think she got pregnant on purpose. To keep him. The world tilted under my feet. For a second, I couldn't breathe. I thought the betrayal was over. I thought it had already burned itself out. But standing there, staring at that email, I realized the fire had only just begun, and I wasn't sure if I was strong enough to face what was still hiding in the ashes. I didn't sleep that night. I just sat at my kitchen table, staring at nothing, turning everything over in my mind. Emma had gotten pregnant on purpose? With Jason's child? And they planned to start a new life together, while I was still trying to pick up the shattered pieces of our marriage? It didn't make sense. Not completely. Because when Emma left, she never mentioned being pregnant. She didn't even try to stay in touch. If they had planned everything, where was she now? By morning, I made a decision. I wasn't going to let this mystery eat me alive. I needed answers. Real ones. I pulled out my old laptop and started digging. Social media was mostly useless. Jason's profiles were scrubbed clean, and Emma had blocked me everywhere the day she left. But then I thought, maybe someone else would know. I remembered Emma's old best friend, Lauren. We never really got along. She always treated me like I wasn't good enough for Emma. But she was loyal to her friends. If anyone knew where Emma had gone, it would be her. I debated texting her for like an hour. Finally, I just did it. Hey, Lauren, I know this is awkward, but I need to know if Emma's okay, if she's, pregnant or safe. Please. No answer for an hour. Then 2 hours. Finally, just as I was about to give up, 3 little dots popped up, and then a message. She had a miscarriage, David. Weeks after leaving you. She's living with her parents now. She's not doing great. I just stared at the screen. A miscarriage. I didn't even know how to feel. Sadness, anger, relief, all tangled together until it made me sick. Lauren sent another message. She didn't plan it, She thought she loved him. Jason promised her the world. Then he ghosted her after a month. She lost everything. Ghosted her? Jason had just disappeared? I thought back to Sarah's face at the coffee shop, the fear behind her eyes, the way she talked about Jason being dangerous. Maybe Jason wasn't just a cheater. Maybe he was something a lot worse. And maybe, just maybe, Emma wasn't the only one he had hurt. After reading Lauren's texts, I felt this cold, burning anger settle in my chest. Not just at Emma, not even mostly at her. At Jason. He had seduced my wife, torn my marriage apart, and then left her, broken and alone. He moved through people's lives like a wildfire, leaving nothing but destruction behind. I couldn't let him get away with it. Not again. I found his new address easily enough, a different city about an hour's drive from mine. Turns out, if you dig deep enough, people leave trails. Change of address forms, new job postings on LinkedIn, a few tagged photos from mutual acquaintances. He was living under a slightly different name now, Jay Carson, instead of Jason Carter. Cute. I waited until Saturday. No big dramatic plan. I just wanted to look him in the eye, to see what kind of man destroyed people and walked away like it was nothing. When I pulled up to his house, it was shockingly normal. Nice little rental, A bright blue door, fresh flowers on the porch. He answered the door, shirtless, holding a beer, looking confused. "Yeah?" he said. I stared at him. This was the guy, the one who made Emma think she could blow up her whole life for him. He wasn't even impressive. He was just average. "David," I said quietly. "Emma's husband." His face froze, and in that moment, I saw the real Jason, not the charming guy from the gym, not the smiling flirt, a coward. He stepped back, tried to shut the door. I shoved it open. He stumbled back, dropping his beer, splashing it across the floor. "I'm not here to fight you," I said. "I just want you to hear it." He opened his mouth, probably to lie, but I kept talking. "You ruined her life. You promised her things you never meant. You used her because it was easy, and when things got hard, you ran." His jaw tightened. "I didn't make her leave you," he muttered. "Number you just made sure she had nowhere to land after she did." For a second I thought he might swing at me, but he didn't. He just stood there, breathing hard, looking smaller and smaller the longer I stared. "You think you're some big shot, huh?" he spat. "She's not my responsibility. None of it is." "Exactly," I said. "That's why you'll always be nothing." And then I turned and walked away. I didn't need anything else from him. No apology, no confession. He wasn't worth it. When I got home, I sat down on my back porch and watched the sun go down. For the first time in months, I didn't feel like I was drowning. Emma had made her choices. Jason had made his. And now, I could finally make mine. Maybe I wasn't as broken as I thought. Maybe I was just free.